What we learned about customers' response to store closures is that leaders usually assume that in this case customers would completely shift online. But actually our research says that this is not the case. In fact, customers do migrate online when stores are closed, but actually only partially, not fully. So in the end, when one store closes, our research shows that you might expect an increase in the online demand in the same local area by about 24%. Yet the total omnichannel sales in that area fall anyway. So in the end, this tells us that the e-commerce can only replace and recover only part of the demand. Actually, we show that it can recover about 11% of the demand due to the store closures. So in the end, we can say as a key message that customers are adaptive, but not fully substitutable. Brands should think of e-commerce during disruptions as certainly a resilience tool, a risk mitigation tool, but definitely not a silver bullet. In fact, our research shows that online channels are incredibly valuable, even for product categories where the touch and feel is critical, like the luxury accessories that we study in our paper. But even though they are so incredibly valuable, our research also shows that they cannot offset the retail stores. They cannot replace the retail stores. So the message is that e-commerce helps businesses to stay connected, certainly, to recover part of the demand, but it does not replace stores one for one. So the key message in the end here is that the real strength of omnichannel is in the complementarity between the channels and not into the replacement or substitution of one channel with the other. In times of uncertainty, such as when there is a closure of stores, customers heavily lean on brand trust and social proof. So when customers were forced to buy the first time online, what they do, they actually heavily buy best-selling products. In fact, we show that new e-shoppers choose 70% of the time best-selling products, core SKUs, compared with 45% of the time for experienced shoppers. So certainly when there is a store closure, it's a time of uncertainty, of high risk for customers, and what our research shows implicitly is that customers trust the brand, but eventually do not trust the channel. So buying familiar products reveals that the customers want to somehow decrease that anxiety, that uncertainty about product fit, about product quality, about regret for a possible purchase. So we show in the end that the brand substitutes for the lack of sensory information, and customers tend to trust the experience of other people by choosing familiar products rather than their own individual experience. Yes, indeed, in the literature, the general wisdom is that if you increase online sales, you will have also more returns as a business. The reason is very simple, because online sales do not allow for the touch and feel, which sometimes is critical, especially for products whose characteristics cannot be communicated in a digital way. So this is the main wisdom. However, in our case, when the store closes, the online sales go up, rise, but returns eventually fall by 3.5 percentage points. Why is that? Well, because the new shoppers that are attracted to the online channel by the closure of the offline channel are customers that behave in a very conservative way. They buy very familiar products, very best-selling products that have a low chance to be disaligned with the expectations of the product, because they are popular products, right? This is why everybody buys them, is because they are likely to satisfy the expectation of the customers. So in the end, the general wisdom of returns being higher for higher sales is not valid in this case. Customer experience in the end outperforms volume channel alone. Based on the shift in behavior, retailers should think about product mix in the sense of emphasizing the best-selling products. They want to have a full availability of these products because that's what the risk-averse customers seek for. In terms of inventory, we showed that when there is a store closure, there is a rise in demand online in the same area. So retailers want to be prepared when there is a store closure and have inventory allocated in that geographical area where the disruption occurred. In terms of fulfillment strategies, well, what retailers want to do in cases of store closures, they want to have fulfillment strategies that are flexible, that are easily scalable, because you can expect an increase of the online demand due to the store closures. So you want to be flexible and scalable.